Okay, so good afternoon to everyone. Today, in the previous class which we have discussed, today I will discuss again this because in the previous class I didn't complete about that. So from starting, I will again explaining that. So in the previous class, we have talked about the intervillain concept that we have used. So previously we have already used that the intervillain condition using the traditional method we have seen, and this intervillain condition we have already seen using the router on the stick method. We have already seen that. And today we will see another type through which we can use the intervillain, that is the SVI, or we can say switch virtual interface. So by using this switch virtual interface, we will implement the interVLAN. Now, if we use the interVLAN concept, so let's again recall that what is the VLAN, what is the interVLAN one more time. Now, VLAN is basically stands for the virtual area network. VLAN basically stands for the virtual local area network, and VLAN is used for the security purpose. Now, it is a layer 2 security where the VLAN divide a single broadcast domain into multiple broadcast domain, and by default, all the ports of the switch are VLAN 1. So that means if let's say we have required that there is the switch will be present, and there will be the we can say router is present, and in this router is what in this router there is a switch, a single switch is present. So if we want to implement two different, that there is the one department present and another department present, and we didn't want that two departments wants to communicate, because if these systems are present, let's say total four systems are present, and this four system we divided each system, like two system are for one department, another two systems for another department. So we have divided this like, so we want that two departments doesn't communicate. But if we this two uses the same switch, then it will communicate. Originally, it will communicate. So that's why what we have used, that's why we have used that the intervillain concept. This intervillain concept, that means VLAN concept, where that VLAN is what this VLAN will divide the single broadcast domain into the multiple broadcast domain. And by default, all ports of the switch are on the VLAN 1. Now, intervillain concept is what example, let's say for example, we have taken in this example, if we have like group A, group B, group C, group D, like this, there are 10 groups present, or we can say the 10 department present. And we do not want to give communication to all departments separately. Like there is a finance department, let's say there is an example, finance departments will not communicate with the marketing department like this, or the HR department with the sales department. So in an organization like the departments are present, finance department, marketing department, sales department, HR department, like this the departments will be present, and this department using the VLAN concept we have used that these departments cannot communicate. Now, the thing arises that later on we have to decide that marketing department will communicate with the HR department. Let's say that means we have to make the communication again. We have to make the communication again. So in that time, we have to use the intervillain concept. It is just the reverse process. This process is just the reverse. So in that time, we will use the intervillain concept. Now through intervillain, two departments will communicate with each other. Two departments will communicate with each other. Through VLAN, what we have done through VLAN, they will not communicate with each other. But interVLAN concept, using interVLAN concept, the two departments or the two in an organization, two departments, they will communicate with each other. This is the concept of the VLAN and inter VLAN. And already in the practical, in this practical class, I have already discussed this inter VLAN and VLAN concept. And we have already seen the inter VLAN of it is inter VLAN using the traditional method and the inter VLAN using the router on the stick method. So today we will see it as a switch virtual interface. So multiple layer switch, using the multiple layer switch, we will see that how it can be done. So today we will see about that. So let's move into the practical session. So we will go to the Cisco packet tracer. Now in this Cisco packet tracer, we will perform the this inter VLAN by using switch virtual interface in the packet tracer. So let's do it. Let's do this. Now we will first put here. From here, there is switch present. From here, there is switch present. And from this switch, we will choose this 365024 PS. This is the multi-layer switch. So we will use that. This is the multi-layer switch. So this multi-layer switch, we will choose first. And after that, from the end devices, from here you see end devices present. So we click onto the end devices, and from end devices, we will choose a, let's say, a system or PC we have chosen. This two system or the two PC we have chosen. And in this case, or two laptops we will choose. Now this is best, you can choose anything, that choose all laptops or all PCs or laptop PCs. This is up to you, that the system choose, there is no problem. I have chosen that two PCs and two laptops, but you can choose anything. It is up to you. You can choose any. From this left side, we will choose the connection. First, we will choose the connection. So let's say the connection is choose this multi-layer switch with all the systems. We will connect the multi-layer switch with all the systems. So click on this, and first we will create this. First communication, then next this connection is created, then next this wise connection is created, and that is the last connection create. Okay, so connection is already created. Now what we will do, we will assign the IP. We will assign the IP address here. IP address. Now I have discussed about the IP one. Now that what IP address concept is. So we are choosing the IPv4 till now, whatever the IP address we have chosen. Till now we have chosen IPv4 address. Now we are choosing an IP address, let's say 192.168.1. Now, if you remember, what is this type of IP address? This IP address is Class C IP address, because the first byte you see, this is 192. That means first byte, if you see, it is the Class C IP address. So Class C IP address we have chosen. So Class C IP address chosen means what will be its subnet mask? What will be its subnet mask? Now, if you remember, there is a division in this. For IP division, I have said that class A has one network ID and three host ID. For class B, it is two network ID, two host ID. For class C, there is three network ID and one host ID. So here that means this is the this 192.168.10. These three are the net ID, and the last one is the host ID. So that means this will be the total about 32. That means 8, 8, 8, 24, 24, 1, and 8 bits will be zeros. So 24 bits 1 follow. What if we simple 881, we take first 8 ones, then dot 8 ones, then dot 8 ones, then dot 8 zeros. So that means if present this, then it will become what? Dot 255.255.0. So that is the subnet mask we have seen that how this. So now this is I have already discussed. So let's go into this here. So 192.168.10.2. Now this is subnet. The subnet mask. We have already how the subnet mask we calculate. We have all discussed that in the class that how this subnet mask can be calculated. Now the default gateway, the default gateway 68.10.1. Yes, because it is default gateway will always be 1. So it is 192.168.10.1. Okay, no problem. This IP address we have assigned this system. Let's say for this system also we have to assign IP address. You have to assign IP here. So let's say this is the 3. We are saying this is as the 3. So go into the desktop and inside we will assign this IP address. So the subnet mask we have assigned and the default gateway address, the same default use address. So that's why use that. So these two systems are using the same default gateway. So that's why we use same default gateway for this system and this system for both. Clear? So now in this different period I am using that I will because we are saying that it is in. So go into the desktop and IP conf, go into the IP address, subnet mask will be chosen, and the default gateway is 20.1. So this also will do what we will add IP address. So let's say this IP address is 3. Go to the top IP configuration, put the IP address here. The subnet mask will be automatically chosen, and this is the default gateway address. So that this default gateway and these two systems are using same default gateway. Now, why I do this? So let's say we will explain it with this. We will choose a color. Let's say this color we have chosen, and to separate this. So this is another, and from here I will choose another color. Let's say yellow, and this is we have drawn. So for dividing this, I have used it. For dividing that these two systems, we have used that. So now, let's say in this, we will write it as the VN10 cells. So this is what, this is the, we are saying this is using the same default. This is VLAN 10 cells. Okay. So that means this is the sales department. So two system sales department. And here we will use another thing. So another this will be placed here, and it is VLAN 20, and it, okay. So they are two different departments. One is sales, another is marketing. So in sales department, two systems are present, and in the marketing department also two systems are present. And we have given the default gateway address of both this department we have given. So now first we will see that if the communication can be made between them or not. So first go to the command prompt and we will first check using the ping. So ping 192.168. So we are in this system, we are present in this system, and we want to check that the connection can, or the packet can be sent to let's say this system. And this system is present in the sales department, and this system is present in the marketing department. So both are in the different uh, department. So can the two systems communicate between them? The two system can able to communicate. Let's see this, that what happened. You see, it is showing request timed out. So we will wait for some time. Yes. You see, all the four packets are lost. These two departments through different departments with each other. These two different packet each other. So what concept we will use now? Whatever the concept we will use now, we will use the intercept, because inter-VLAN do what? To make that the two different departments with using switch vector interface. We will using this multi-layer switch, we will do this. Using the multi-layer switch, we will perform that. This is the multi-level switch. So switch virtual interface, through switch virtual interface, how it can be done, we will see that how it can be done. So that means now we will use a notepad. We will open the notepad and write the command there. So notepad will open and write the commands here. Okay. So first, we already know that config t command is used. Config t is used for the configuration from privilege mode to the configuration mode. If we want to go from privilege mode to configuration mode, we have to use the config t command. After that, we will use the command host name, and we want to change the host name, as this is the multi-level switch. So let's say we want that we will this perform configuration inside this multi-level switch as the host name as the MLS multi-level switch. Okay. So after that, what it is the VLAN 10 cells. So that means we will use the VLAN 10, and it will be cells. Okay, VLAN 10 cells, VLAN 10, sorry, this will be name cells. Okay, so we are assigning the VLAN 10, it is of the name cells. Same as that, for VLAN 20 also we have to perform that. So VLAN 20 we will assign as marketing, it as the marketing. So this we will assign as the marketing here. Now, after that, interface, we have to assign or use the interface. Interfaces should be in the VLAN, should be used in the interfaces. So first, int means interface, interface range. So let's see what interface. This is the 0 by 1, and this interface, what is this interface? This interface 1 by 0 by 2. Okay, so that means interface range G 1 by 0 by 1 to 1 by 0 by 2. So that means this previous twos are same. So we can directly write 2 here. There is no need to write G1 by 0 by 2 again, because they are serially, they are coming one by one. So we can write this 2 directly, we can write this 2. But if this is different, if let's say this will be 5, then we cannot able to write like this. Then to write G1 by 0 by 1, 1 by 0 by 5. If there, this is not 2 in that case, because they are coming one by one. So that's why we will write G directly, we can write 2 here. Then switch port, switch port access, switch port access VLAN 10, and switch port mode, we will use switch port mode access, switch port mode access. Okay, same as that for these two systems. For these two also we have to do like this. This is 1 by 0 by 3, and this is 1 by 0 by 4. So okay, we will put that like this, 1 by 0 by 3, and this is 4, and this will be VLAN 20. This will be VLAN 20. Okay, so we will do what? We will copy it and paste inside this. So we'll move into the CLI here. Now, here a thing is that, so if we have to use the multi-layer switch, if we use the multi-layer switch, then the device must be powered on. You see that when we want to go to the CLI, then it is shown that the device must be powered on. So how the power on can be done? Now you from here, from physical, if you go to the physical tab, then there in the left side you see it is showing modules, AC power supply, power cover plate, GLC LD, SMD, GLC T, and GLC T. From here we have to give what we want for using that power supply should be given. So we will choose power supply. Sorry, we will choose power supply and put it here. And after that, the power cover plate should be used like this. Like this, we have to use the power cover plate. So when we will use that, you see the booting started. That means it is the power is given and the switch is open. So switch is starting, restarting, the switch is restarting. So now the switch is started. So here it is again, that means you in that time after this, you will able to open the CLI. After giving the AC power supply and the power cover plate, then only you can open the CLI. Otherwise, it will show the power must be given. So after that, the booting started, and here it is showing that would you like to enter the initial configuration? We will directly use N. That means we didn't want to go to the initial configuration. Now from switch, we have to use the command en for enable mode. From going from user mode to the privilege mode, we use the en command. From user mode to the privilege mode, for going, we use the en command. So we have gone to the en command, and after that paste whatever we have copied, totally paste that. Okay, So after that, what we will do, we will end it, and after ending that, we will use the WR. We will use the command WR. Now we will see IP show sh IP root. So after this, there is written that you see the ICMP read-write cache is empty. So that means we have not set, like now till now we didn't set that. So now we will set the IP root. So we will set the IP root now. So let's say the IP root should be set. How we will use that IP root, we will discuss it. So for this IP routing, we will use the interface VLAN. We will use the command interface VLAN 10. Now in this we will put, okay, for interface VLAN we will assign the IP address. Now we will assign the IP address. So that means the gateway should be added. So IP add, for this what is the gateway we have used? 192.168.10.1. okay, and subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. okay. After that, no sh, that means the port will be up now. After is no sh uses of the no sh, that means the port will be up now. Same for that, we have to use for VLAN 20 also. So it will be VLAN 20 and this will be 20.1. That means for this gateway we have to assign. For this gateway we have to assign in VLAN 20.255.no sh dot 0, then no sh. That means the port should be up. So let's copy this and go inside this. So config t and paste here. The configuration will be paste. Okay. So now end it, and after that we will use the WR command. Then show IP IP root. You see, after this, when we use the show IP root, then it is showing what you see. Then it is showing that C is for connected, S is for static, I is for IGRP, RIP means router information protocol. Then here it is showing the gateway of the last resort is not set, and here it is .10.0 by 24 is directly connected. Now this /24, why this /24 is seen here? Why this /24 we are seeing? Now if you remember, this /24 is what? This /24 it is showing because of 192.168.10.0. Now it is what? Class C type IP address. This is the class C type IP address. Now class C type IP address means there will be three net ID and one host ID. So we divide the 32-bit. Let's say we divide this 32-bit like this. The 32-bit, our IPv4 address is of 32-bit. So that's 32 bits means 4 bytes. So this 4 bytes, 32 bits means 4 bytes. So between the 4 bytes data, 3 bytes are for the net ID and 1 bytes for the host ID. So 3 bytes means what? 3 bytes means 24 bits. So it will be 24 bits. It will be 24 bits. 3 bytes means what? It will be 24 bits, and this will be 24 bits, and this is 8 bits. This will be 1 byte equal to 8 bits. This will be 8 bits. So that means what? First 24 bits. That means if we remember, n is 24. N is 24. And 32 minus n. 32 minus n. That is 8. So 8 bits. 8 bits will be zeros. So 24 bits ones followed by 8 bit zeros. So that's why this 24 is shown. This 24 because the number of subnet mask. That's why it is showing 24. Okay. So this is that's how we represent. There will be the 24 bits ones. So that's why it is showing /24. Same as that for this case also, that 24 came like this. Okay. So now we will see that the two systems, now we will see that the two systems are communicating. So let's see, now the two systems will be able to communicate with each other. So give ping operation. Let's see. So the first time the request timed out came, and after that you see the replies are coming. In next time, if you ping this, you see they are communicating with each other. That means using the interVLAN, what we have used using this interVLAN, the two systems are communicating. The two systems are communicating with each other. Okay, it is clear? समझ में आया? उज्जवल समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
Okay. और प्रिंस? प्रिंस तुम हो? I think प्रिंस नहीं है. प्रिंस? हाँ, उज्जवल.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, ये बाकी सब कहाँ चला गया? सब ज्वाइन किया फिर चला गया?
क्या पता सर.
देखिए
अब तो सर
क्लास क्या नहीं करेंगे सोचे हैं ये लोग.
एग्जाम होने वाला है ना सर. अब
मगर
फॉर्म
इसका हम
फॉर्म
देखते हैं
फिलअप हो रहा है.
कि क्लास में आते हैं.
हाँ
एग्जाम तो
सर.
देर है. एग्जाम तो आपका होगा नहीं.
हाँ सर.
अक्टूबर में होगा शायद. उसके आगे होगा.
वो तो ऑनलाइन ही होगा सर. एग्जाम फॉर्म में
उसके
लिखा
आगे
हुआ है
तो
ऑनलाइन. एग्जाम ऑनलाइन ही
एग्जाम
होगा
ऑनलाइन ही
सर.
होगा.
हाँ, जो फॉर्म दिया हम लोग को उसमें
ओ,
एक ही ऑप्शन है, ऑनलाइन का ही है.
अच्छा अच्छा. ओ, पिछले बार जैसे ठीक हुआ था ऐसे ही
हाँ
होगा.
सर.
पिछले बार एक बार सेकेंड आने के टाइम में उसके आगे जैसे एग्जाम होगा असाइनमेंट बेस्ड.
हाँ सर, वैसे
हम
ही
लोगों
होगा.
का तब हम क्या करेंगे. हम सोचे हैं कि तुम लोगों का ये कर देंगे. वो नेटवर्किंग का कुछ पार्ट रह गया है. मतलब एक हम तब लैब कंटिन्यू करेंगे उस टाइम. नेक्स्ट में क्या करेंगे, वो जो नेटवर्क सिक्योरिटी का पार्ट है ना, नेटवर्क सिक्योरिटी का पार्ट मेरा रह गया. नेटवर्क सिक्योरिटी और तुम्हारा एकदम लास्ट लेयर जो है, ये दो पार्ट मेरा बचा है. ठीक है, तब हम क्या करेंगे, वो जो है तुम लोग का एक क्लास हम तब एक्स्ट्रा 1 दिन या 2 दिन में ले लेंगे कि एक साथ नेटवर्क सिक्योरिटी पूरा कवर हो जाए. नेटवर्क सिक्योरिटी बहुत मेन पार्ट है. मतलब आते हैं क्वेश्चंस उसमें. उससे नोशंस आते हैं, तब हम क्या करेंगे सर, दो DODI और देख लैब की जगह में हम ले लेंगे वही।
हाँ सर,
क्लास
वो
में
चीज।
देखते हैं आते हैं, मगर लैब में क्या लैब में क्या लैब में आते नहीं।
लैब सर ज्यादा टाइम का होता
लैब
है।
भी हो ही चुका है, हाँ तो हो भी चुका है। लैब तो हो लगभग, सिलेबस कंप्लीट ही है लैब का।
हाँ
ठीक है,
सर।
तो तुम परफॉर्म करो, परफॉर्म किए हो?
नहीं सर, सर हम तो
परफॉर्म करो,
खुद में किए हैं
देख।
सर, पावर ही नहीं है। लैपटॉप का सर
पावर
बैटरी
नहीं
खराब है,
यार,
बिना पावर का नहीं चलता है।
अरे ये सब कितने दिन से चल रहा है उज्जवल का प्रॉब्लम।
अरे हाँ सर।
और सुरेश ज्वाइन किए हैं, सुरेश।
सर अभी एक्चुअली अभी जस्ट हम आए सर, पीछे तो किए नहीं,
अच्छा,
तो
तो
आइडिया नहीं
तुमको
है।
तुम्हारा तो फिर तो तुम्हारे लिए हमको एक्सप्लेन करना होगा फिर एक बार तब।
सर हम एक्चुअली चल गए थे बाहर, अभी जस्ट आए तो ज्वाइन किए सर।
ठीक है, कोई इशू नहीं, तो अभी ये टाइम खाएगा, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट जो सेशन होगा, नेक्स्ट सेशन में फिर ज्वाइन करना, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट सेशन में हम तुमको नेक्स्ट सेशन में फिर एक्सप्लेन करेंगे। और उज्जवल तुम एक देखो, कुछ ऑप्शंस कुछ नहीं पाओ किया कि बैटरी जो है उसको थोड़ा ये करो, मतलब चार्ज दे के या लगा के। हम्म, ठीक है, तुम्हारे लोग फिर हम तब एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं। मेनली क्या है कि हम लोग जो ये जो आज किए हैं, आज का कॉन्सेप्ट है इंटरविलन यूजिंग SVI मींस स्विच वर्चुअल इंटरफेस। कि हम जो इंटरविलन कॉन्सेप्ट ऑलरेडी क्लास में देख चुके हैं, तो वो इंटरविलन क्या क्या कॉन्सेप्ट हम देखे कि यूजिंग ट्रेडिशनल मेथड जो है उससे हम देखे हैं, और हम लोग देखे हैं राउटर ऑन द स्टिक मेथड। ये दो मेथड यूज करके हम लोग क्या है, दो मेथड यूज करके हम लोग इंटरविलन के कॉन्सेप्ट देखे हैं।
सर
आज आज जो लैब है उसमें हम देखेंगे इंटरविलन यूजिंग स्विच वर्चुअल इंटरफेस। स्विच वर्चुअल इंटरफेस करके कैसे हम लोग इंटरविलन को इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं। तो फर्स्ट जो है हम लोग कॉन्सेप्ट जो है विलन, हम लोग एक बार रिकॉल कर लेते हैं कि विलन और इंटर विलन का कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है। देखो, विलन का कॉन्सेप्ट मींस विलन लोग का क्या है, वर्चुअल लोकल एरिया नेटवर्क। अब देखो, मेरा हम चाहते हैं कि मेरा एक स्विच प्रेजेंट है और स्विच में सिस्टम्स कनेक्टेड है। अब एक स्विच के अंदर जो जो सिस्टम्स प्रेजेंट होगा, सब